Hi, and welcome back to my channel, Quest for Faith with Brian. And today I'm doing something a little different. I'm going to be reacting to Josh Prey. If you guys haven't checked out this dude's channel, I used to watch a bunch of his stuff a long time ago, and I hadn't seen anything from him in a while. But he always comes out with these lists of 5 things that I learned, whatever his experience is. And a lot of them are usually pretty funny. So I'm hoping this is going to be pretty funny too. But it's 5 things that he learned at his first time going to a Catholic church. So um, I'm betting I'm going to be able to relate to a lot of this. So let's go ahead and dive into it here. All right. Let's see.
This weekend experience Catholic service for the first time in my life. 5 things to know before going to a Catholic service if you've never been to a Catholic service. Number one, the pastor, the priest, whomever conducts the service is one of the most talented individuals I've ever seen. So coming from a non-denominational Baptist church, Christian man, go to a Baptist church, our pastor conducts the service one way. He preaches the service. Then you have the choir, then you have the ushers, and then you have the church-like unofficial disciplinary person that calms all the children down. Nah, I saw this one man conduct the service. Then while conducting the service, he said, we are going to sing a hymn. So when he said that, I was waiting for the choir to show up. Then the choir conductor, to get everybody right, he started leading the church and singing. And his voice sounded like he could be in an opera somewhere. And I was shocked. I was like, I thought he was just going to preach the word. But nah, he sung too. And then some children in the back was getting out of control. And he shot them a look, and the children calmed down all at one time. I didn't know the priest was that talented, dog. Had no idea. Had me in the back of the church shook. I didn't know whether to like praise and throw my hands in the air, buy his album, or be quiet, because I didn't want him to give me that look. Had me sitting down. Number two.
Okay. Uh, he must have gone to a pretty awesome parish because I don't think that's typically normal. I will say this. I know my parish, our priest usually sings the mass, whether it's the Novus Ordo or the Latin. My parish has both. Uh, it's so it is pretty talented. Like, it's kind of mind blowing the first time you go to our parish, and starts off right at the beginning singing mass, and it's pretty impressive. But yeah, I think for me, one thing that he pointed out there that I find completely different than growing up in a Protestant church is most of the time, um, if when I was going to Methodist church right before we decided to become Catholic, um, the children were never in service. We literally would drop them off at Sunday school and then go to service. So it was very rare for a kid, unless they were a baby, and even then, they had daycare for that, for them to be in church. But what's awesome about being Catholic is that your kids are expected to be in mass, and it is different. Yeah, you'll have a few crying babies in a Protestant church, but not really. Um, it's I think that was one of the hardest things for my youngest to come to when we started going to mass for the first time, was he had to sit through it because he never really had to. It was very a rare experience for him to have to sit through it, but sounds like he went to had a priest that was pretty talented there. All right, let's see what else he comes up with.
2, in order to attend Catholic service, be sure you are in some of the best shape of your life. Again, going to
Catholic
the churches that
cardio.
I regularly attend, we might stand up and worship and pray and sing every once in a while, and that's about it. At Catholic church, I wasn't familiar that you stood up, he said something, the people say something, then you sit down, then you stand up again, then you sit down. Then when it's time to pray, they got these things that they roll out under the chairs, whatever. You get on your knees and you pray. Then you pray, then you stand up, then you sit down. Then you stand up, you sit down. At one point, I thought we were playing Simon Says, Jesus Says. I didn't know what to do. I was confused. I sat down when they stood up,
Jesus said.
then I stood up when they sat down. I was lost in church. I left in a full sweat. Make sure you bring a towel, rag, and a bottle of water, because you go up, down, up, down, up, down, head, shoulder, knees, toes, everything. Number 3, the Bible says, come as you are.
Okay. Catholic cardio. I don't know if you've heard it called that before, but it's a legit thing. I think for y'all that are cradle Catholics that have just always that's always been Catholic, it's not a big deal for y'all. But I gotta say, man, my back killed me like maybe the first 6 months of us going to mass. Um, and also depending on what pew I'm at, if the kneeler is uncomfortable, like I got knobs on my knees that just kill me. But it's a legit thing, especially if you've never gone before and you're like, wait, what are we doing? Are we kneeling? Are we standing up? Are we sitting down? Like what's happening here? And it's definitely an obstacle that you have to go through when you're first starting to come. And it reminds me, I have a buddy that they're thinking about joining the Catholic Church, and we were working out together, and we were doing something that was working on our low back, and he's like, "I got to get my Catholic back into shape," because he was experiencing the same thing when you're having to kneel the whole time during the liturgy of the Eucharist, and everyone's getting going up for communion. Man, after a minute, if you're not used to that, your back starts hurting. So I have actually broken out in sweats if I wear it, especially if I wear a suit coat and it's the middle of summer. Or in the winter when they got the heater blaring, you're dressed for warm weather or a cold weather and they got the heat up and you're just sitting there like, anyways, that's awesome.
Bar. Everybody in this church was dressed to the T. Dudes was in there full three-piece suits. I looked to my right. I seen one dude had the Scarface outfit on. I'm talking about like the black suit with the white collar shirt, the chest slightly open with the rose gold necklace. And then his wife, I'm in church. I ain't gonna say no what, but his wife was dressed very, 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 very well. And then the woman, to me, she had on something that it cost like $18,000. It looked like she bathed in Chanel perfume, and she was about 85 years old. I was looking at the ring finger. She was free, but I ain't want to use that space to conduct the kind of, you know what I'm saying, hollering at her that I wanted to. But everybody in there was dressed to the T. If you go into Catholic service, this is the first time I attended, they left an impression on me that I gotta go buy 4 or 5 suits. You know, black men, we superstitious. We only buy suits to go to court and when you buried. But I gotta go in a hurry if I'm gonna bow and kneel in front of Mother Mary. Number 4.
Okay. I do. Yeah, that is legit. I feel the come as you are thing has been taken way out there for a lot of Protestant churches where shorts, t-shirts, flip-flops, whatever, coming up to church on Sunday. And that's not the case for all Protestants. There's still Protestant denominations that do dress up to the nines when they go to church. But I think in general it's probably accurate. And I think if you, depending on your parish, right? Because I know my first parish the parish we came into church, there was kind of a mix, right? You'd have really dressed up people and people that weren't dressed up. And I still see that in my parish, even though it's a little bit more on the traditional side. You'll see both, but more than likely you're going to see people dressed up. And almost feeling that peer pressure to wear at least a sport coat when you're going to mass. And I mean, I think that's awesome. That's the impression he got when he went to mass the first time. It's like, wow, these people are dressing up. I mean, come on, we're kneeling before God quite seriously during mass, so might as well dress up right. All right, let's see. Number 4.
Or the entire church is in sync. Now, I am not going to disrespect the Catholic faith by trying to recite some of the prayers and the amens that they were saying. But I know when that priest said something, the church recited it in unison. At one point, it was so in sync that I heard the pulpit and the walls said at the same time. They stood up together, they sat down together. It was choreographed. They learn why in the womb, when they're fetus, when they walk around and their daddy is sperm. If you Catholic, they already tell you, when you come out of here, you better be able to do the things we do and say the things we say and cross your body how we cross our body. Because they were so in unison, man. And number 5.
Yes, 100%. And I think that's one of the most embarrassing things about coming to a Catholic church for the first time is if you're Catholic and you've been Catholic for a while or you're a cradle Catholic, you know everything. There's still a few times where I get tripped up on things. I've been a Catholic now for 5 years I've been coming, and every once in a while I'll get tripped up on something, and it's intimidating. It really actually is really intimidating. That is probably one of the most intimidating parts of mass is when you show up and everybody knows what to say. Everybody knows the prayers. Everybody knows when to kneel. Everybody knows when to stand up. And it's awesome. But yeah, that's 100% legit.
Catholic service is long. If you are thinking about joining the Catholic Church, cancel your Sunday. Don't think about nothing in the morning. If you think you're going to go get your nails done or yard cut, fix them around the house from like 9 to 2 p.m., cancel it. You're going to be at that church because we was in service so long that my hair started to grow out. I needed another haircut when I left the church. And it was no shortening, nothing. And if I wanted to leave early, that pastor just gave me a look. Let me sit down and hear this whole word because clearly I need this whole word. And you can't sit down too long because at some point you have to stand back up and sing a hymn that you don't know what the hymn is. Then you look to your right and they're singing the hymn in unison, but you distracted by her earrings because her earrings are glowing, but her earrings are singing the same song that you need to be singing. And now you on your knees, but they still standing up. Now they on their knees, and now you on your knees, and you got one eye open because you want to do everything that everybody else doing, but you ain't been in this church long enough to do what everything everybody else is doing. I'll probably be back next week because church started last Sunday, and I'm pretty sure last Sunday's service is just ending today. So I went to a Catholic.
All right. I don't know about that last one. I don't think Catholic services are that long. I mean, hour and 20 minutes, maybe. Is Now, I will say, I don't know when this video came out. Let's see. Did he go to the Easter Vigil? Because if he went to the Easter Vigil, this was a year ago. So who knows? Maybe he went to no, it was May 21st. Probably not. Unless maybe he went to the Easter Vigil. Who knows? If that's the case, yes. And y'all, I always say that word wrong. Anyways, he definitely probably said if he went to that, yes, what is that, 3 hours usually? But most Catholic masses, I've been at some, like, you go to the 8 o'clock mass or the 7 a.m. mass during the week, 45 minutes, you're out the door. But yeah, I totally get him on some of that, and I think really, I mean, I don't know. I've been to some Protestant services that are long, especially if you get a preacher that's up there that wants to do a 45-minute sermon. And that's legit. Some Protestant preachers love to preach. Their sermons are not like most of our homilies, where a long homily is 15 minutes. So I think it's give or take, and I think that the difference too is since we do communion every single time, which is fantastic. It does take a minute for everybody to get up, and that does take a while. Where a lot of Protestant churches maybe do it once a month. And so they can cut out 20-30 minutes there. Of our service time because they don't have the Eucharist. They don't have communion every Sunday. So anyways, I don't know. I just felt like doing something a little bit different. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'll leave a link to this guy's channel, Josh Pray, in the description below. He's got some really funny stuff. It's probably been 5 years since I've seen anything from him. Maybe less than that, but I used to watch his stuff all the time because every video is like 5 things you need to know. He's a funny dude. Anyways, hope you enjoyed this. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.